Hello and welcome back to the channel where I provide regular cricket content on interesting topics. In today's video I follow on from Indian and English rundowns documenting what I believe to be the best South African test innings of all time. So let's get on with the list. Number 5, Hashim Amla, 112 v Australia, Newlands, Cape Town, 2011. One of cricket's most composed players delivered the crucial blow in what would become one of the sport's most insane games. Michael Clarke's unflappable 151 on a lightning-fast wicket initially looked to be the defining knock, as Australia bowled South Africa out for just 96. However, the Proteas quickly turned the tables with an incredible display, as Vernon Philander's debut 5 for 15 reduced Australia to a disastrous 21 for 9. The team's last wicket partnership boosted the total to 47 all out, and set a target of 236 for South Africa. Despite the sheer chaos of the first 2 days, anything seemed possible. However, Hashim Amla's confident 112 took all the tension out of the situation, and South Africa strolled to victory with just 2 wickets lost in 50.2 overs. Number 4, Graeme Smith, 259, Lords, 2003. During the summer of 2003, Graeme Smith was in sublime form and cemented his place as one of the best openers to tour England. He could be featured for a couple of knocks that summer, but I am electing for when he set a new record at Lords. Smith became the highest-scoring overseas player in a test match with a staggering 259 against England. Surpassing Sir Donald Bradman's 73-year-old record of 254, Smith achieved the feat on day 3 of the test, after his side had dismissed the hosts for just 173 in their first innings. Smith's sublime innings was the cornerstone for South Africa's massive total of 682 for 6 declared, featuring 34 fours. He faced 370 balls and spent an impressive 574 minutes at the crease before being bowled out by James Anderson. Mokate-Ntini's 10-wicket haul in the match prevented England from mounting an unlikely comeback in their second innings, as South Africa cruised to victory by an innings and 92 runs. Number 3, Graeme Pollock, 125, Trent Bridge, 1965. In the second test during the South African tour of England, Pollock made 125, an innings he described in his autobiography as his best. It was a low-scoring contest on a wicket described as plasticine by Richie Benaud. Pollock made his 125 runs off of 145 balls with a staggering 21 fours at a strike rate unheard of during those times. He had come in at 16 for 2 before his partnerships with the captain Peter van der Merwe and with Richard Dumbrell enabled the score to reach 269. John Woodcock wrote in The Cricketer, "Not since Bradman's day could anyone recall having seen an English attack treated in such cavalier style." While the same correspondent in The Times said, "I can think of no innings played against England since the war which was so critical and commanding. I can think of none more beautifully played." E. W. Swanton wrote in the Daily Telegraph that it was an innings, which in point of style and power, of ease and beauty of execution is fit to rank with anything in the annals of the game. Number 2, Gary Kirsten, 275, Durban, 1999. Gary Kirsten sometimes gets forgotten about when considering South African greats. He often falls into the shadows of such players as Jacques Kallis and A.B. de Villiers. But he was a very good batsman and on one occasion broke the hearts of English fans. At the time England were a poor side, struggling at home let alone touring such difficult places as South Africa. But in the Durban Test of 1999 we were finally on top, forcing the South Africans to follow on with a 210-run deficit. England had them on the ropes but in walked Kirsten to spoil the party. Kirsten's monumental effort was a match-saving 275 which lasted more than 14 hours, making it the second longest test innings behind only Hanif Mohammed. Apart from a close LBW shout, it was a chance-less innings where he ground the bowlers into the dust. Kirsten faced 642 balls in the innings and ensured that, as per the form book, England went on to lose the series. Number 1, Herschelle Gibbs, 196, 2001, Port Elizabeth. Herschelle Gibbs is remembered for a couple of things. Firstly, his unfortunate involvement in the Hansie Cronje scandal, and secondly, his powerful hitting in one-day internationals. What I think often gets missed, however, are his contributions to red ball cricket, including what to me was a special innings. In 2001, Gibbs opened the batting on day 1 against a talented Indian side including Javagul Srinath and Harbhajan Singh. The wicket was offering plenty for the bowlers and wickets started to fall with Kirsten and Kallis falling cheaply. Gibbs would go on the offensive however and ended up scoring 196 out of a total of 362, playing particularly with impunity off the back foot. He was provided some support down the order, but ultimately Gibbs dragged the South Africans towards a good score. Runs continued to be hard to come by over the rest of the game, with only Laxman batting with confidence in the Indian innings. The game was ultimately drawn with various weather delays, but Gibbs not put him in a class of 1 during that test. This game was famous in other ways in that Tendulkar was allegedly seen ball tampering. I have done a separate video on this, but I think this was a bit of a non-event. So there you have it, that's my list. What staggered me was that no Kallis innings jumped out at me. What was close to being in the list was AB's innings, scoring 106 not out, chasing down 414 versus Australia in 2008. The reason I didn't include that was that Smith also scored an excellent 100 and was almost equally important. I suppose you could say the same thing for Amla's knock. As ever, let me know what you think. I am not judge and jury, this is just my list, so fire away with your suggestions. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll be doing Pakistan's best innings next.